I have got Brian Stillman here. He's a good friend. He's also the executive producer, director extraordinaire of an amazing documentary. This is the most amazing documentary I've ever seen. Seriously, I watch all these movies on planes, and I told you this. I fall asleep sometimes, or I never finish, and then I say, oh, I'm going to finish it. I made a point to finish your movie. I bought it on iTunes to finish it on the when I got home. Plastic Galaxy is the movie.
Thanks. But if I really had done my job right, I would have kept you awake through the whole flight.
Well, no, in your case, I actually, you're right. No, I was going to try and say, well, I
appreciate that it was worth coming back to after your restful flight.
I was going to say, I was really tired. It was right after CES. And I was going to say, well, I really was awake, and then the plane landed, so I couldn't watch the rest, and I got home. But which is the case sometimes. But in this case, I did fall asleep.
I appreciate it.
I fought it hard, though. Usually, I'm just like, okay, forget it. And this one, I was like, no. And then I went back and watched from like where I started to kind of.
Right.
Congratulations, you're doing well. You got distribution in like a ton of countries. You're going to be on satellite. TV and all sorts of other stuff.
iTunes, Hulu, Amazon, everywhere to get your Star Wars toys fix. We are there.
I mean, basically, Triforce is like the evolution of what this started as, because back in the day, people didn't really license toys for movies. They did, but it wasn't a big deal. Nobody cared. Star Wars was the first one where everybody went, whoa, this is amazing.
It's true. Star Wars came out. They tried to get a couple different toy companies to pick up their license. Those toy companies weren't interested because there was no sort of proven track record. Eventually, Kenner Toys came along, Kenner Products, and they said, we'll do it. We'll take a risk on it. And, of course, it became this huge phenomena. And today, you look around, and every property has their sort of toy product tie-in. You know, whether it's a movie, whether it's video games, whether it's anything, they have these tie-ins. And I think that really grew out of the success of Star Wars, sort of helping to pave the way and to show what was possible.
And so your documentary is amazing, but it's on basically how this revolutionized the industry and how it came out of nowhere. And it surprised even Kenner, where they had to send empty boxes to kids or sell empty boxes for Christmas, and then it would say, you know, you can collect this in like 2 months.
Mail it back, yeah. So Plastic Galaxy, the story of Star Wars toys, is about the history of Star Wars toys, where they came from, and then how they became the sort of biggest toy phenomena of all time, and how it ended up changing the movie industry, changing the toy industry. And it's true, Kenner was not ready for the success. The movie came out in May. You need to have toys out for Christmas, they realized, but that's not nearly enough time. So Kenner sent out what's known as the early bird.
But this was the first time it's ever been done.
This is nobody had the. Can I say balls on your show?
Yes.
I'm going to say balls on your show. No one had the balls to put out an empty box.
Right.
I still don't think anyone does that.
No, nobody does.
There was a coupon. It said, mail it back. We promise we'll send you some toys.
What they do is they do pre-orders now, and they say, oh, sorry, it's been delayed. So, but this was amazing, and it worked out well. It was a great marketing ploy.
It did. It was.
They made the box special too.
Yeah, it was a nice box. The box opened up and became a little display stand. It came with some stickers. It came with a fan club card. But the prize was the coupon you mail back and get these 4 action figures, which started showing up late February, early March. But it's like this promise, like, kids, we swear, or forget the kids, parents, we swear we will send you some toys.
Yeah. Well, I know that Ben, who's watching in our Slack chat right now, he's a terrific.
Hi, Ben.
Hey, Ben. He's a big fan of your movie. He said he rented it the first time on iTunes and then bought it.
Wow, I appreciate that. And that's cool because then you got to see all the DVD extras. Or if you bought it on iTunes, then you just get to watch it repeatedly.
So you have the DVD here. You want to show the box cover real quick?
This is the DVD.
Yep.
You can see it's Plastic Galaxy. It's got a bunch of, actually my action figures are gracing it. And then my friend's kid supplies the little hands. We grabbed his kid. We're like, we need tiny hands. And that's what we used.
And you get extras on that. So what do I do? PlasticGalaxy.com if I want to buy the DVD?
PlasticGalaxyMovie.com. Well, Amazon.com if you want to buy the DVD.
Okay.
And we're all over Amazon.
It's been doing amazing. I love it. You know, it's
Thank
funny.
you.
The guys from Back in Time, I turned them onto it, and they love it. They're making an amazing documentary on Back to the Future.
And I want to see that. It's all part of the same culture. You know, we all grew up at the same time. This is 80s pop culture that resonates with us even today. So you have Back to the Future, you have Ghostbusters, you have Transformers, G.I. Joe, Star Wars, He-Man, all these things coming together, and you're starting to see lots of movies about that stuff now, because we're all, old enough to like have some cash to make these movies, and we, picked up the skills to do it.
Was there anybody's house you got to or place that you got to and you were like, I thought I was a super nerd, but you're like, oh my God, you take geekdom to a whole new level when you were doing this.
I don't want to say they are more nerdy than I, but they are more dedicated than I. They're more knowledgeable than I. There are lots of places. Look, you know this, as newsmen, as documentaries makers, what we do is we know about something, we're passionate about something, but we look for the people who know more and are more passionate so they can tell the story, so we can bring their story to the screen. If we knew it all, we wouldn't have to interview anyone.
Well,
our job is to be a cipher for the audience.
Sure.
So I looked, everyone I interviewed, like I thought I knew my stuff, everyone I interviewed, they schooled me left and right, and it was great.
Now, you were at Comic-Con last year. You're Comic-Con this year.
I've been to every Comic-Con.
You've been to everyone.
Every Comic-Con.
Well, first of all, is it bigger this year than ever before? Are the booths bigger, or is it my imagination? Second
of all, it feels like it
is.
I think every year it gets bigger and bigger.
I was going to say, talk about how it's grown.
I obviously, I don't have stats, I don't have numbers, but just from my personal perception, when it first started, it was up here. This was it. This one room, this one sort of large area for all of Comic-Con. And the artist alley was sort of shoved up away where I don't know where the press room is.
Yeah.
It's like shoved all the way out of the way. Now it's the entire Javits Center, plus this extra wing they added for the artist alley. It's just amazing. There's way more people. Every year I feel like they have to sort of take into account a larger and larger crowd. I think we're seeing way more people on Thursdays. That's the big thing that I've
Yesterday
noticed.
was packed, and last year it wasn't as crowded.
Well, last year there was a lot on Thursday too, but before that, Thursdays were kind of quiet because it wasn't quite the destination it's become. So it's like, well, I can't take off work on Thursday. Maybe I can do it Friday. But now you have people planning their whole vacations around it. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's all part of one big trip.
Yeah, we've met people from
crazy.
Ohio, from Canada,
I believe it,
all over the place. It's really unbelievable. The Terrifics talk about how much energy I have, and they don't know how I keep going. But you seem to have more energy than me. You're like, microsheet's the real thing. Blah, blah, blah. Hey. I love it. I love it.
You know what it is? It's excitement to be here. It's the end of the week. Yeah. I have a lot of sugar and caffeine coursing through my veins right now. Perhaps enough at like unsafe levels. Kids at home, do not have this much sugar and caffeine in your system. You will explode. Not safe at all. But you need it to get through Comic-Con. This is an intense experience.
Yes, I agree. Talk about...
and being here with you, man. You energize me.
Thank you. I love having you on.
You're my caffeine.
You're one of my favorite guests. I really did love the movie. You're working on a new movie, which I'm very interested in because I was just thinking the other day. Can we talk about it?
I cannot really talk about it. It has to do with some 80s culture.
But I'm going to tell people why I'm excited about it. I'm not going to say what it is. And I know they're going to love it.
It's a little too early. And if I drop the ball on this without talking to my partners first, they might
That's
be
fine.
Like, dude, what'd you do?
I think we've got a couple of the guys from the Cobra Kai over there.
Nice. Sweep the leg.
So by the way, did you see the YouTube video where they say that Ralph Macchio's character, Daniel's son, was actually the villain in the movie?
Yes, I have seen that.
That's an amazing one. Do you love these chairs? These are amazing. DX Racers.
They're pretty comfortable.
They are comfortable.
Nice.
I need to get these for the studio, for the set. And Greg needs them. Gee whiz, needs them even for Comic-Con. His legs were killing him today because he was sitting in a chair all day, and it wasn't like this. He's running the whole mobile studio back there. But my thing, this is why I like the movie that you're working on now. Sure. I actually was talking to Gee Whiz about this, that it's a whole community of people, very much like the Star Wars fans, and it's just so interesting to me how they're that into this piece of pop culture that anybody on the outside doesn't understand and is kind of hard to understand, but yet it's this unbelievable cult following, and everybody knows the name, and everybody knows what it is. And it was just this weird kind of cool club, and it just amazes me. It's tantalizing,
isn't it?
It is. No, it is.
I can say this. It's related.
It's funny because I was telling Greg the other night
it's related to Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh,
the next film.
Okay.
I can say that.
All right.
I can say that.
So that's what I was going to say.
It's not a movie about Dungeons and Dragons, though. I will say that also because that's being done already.
But that's what I was saying to Greg the other night is that this kind of film that you're working on around Dungeons and Dragons would. And it's funny because I was thinking I got to tell Brian, and I thought, I'll tell Brian, and he'll go, oh, okay, great, thanks. And And it's funny because you're working on it.
Yes.
And
again, related to Dungeons and
Right.
Dragons, not about Dungeons. This is important because there is a documentary out there, and I can tell you stuff about it afterwards.
But I
don't
know.
want to get embroiled
But
in
this
that.
is what I was talking to Greg about
Sure.
the other night. That like this is what you're working on is the kind of thing that needed to happen, and it's a brilliant idea. Now, so what does it mean? Now you have partners. Now you've got.
you know,
I mean, you started this. You pretty much did this. You
I
had
did.
a partner. You pretty much did it on your own.
did
Then you got
Plastic Galaxy
distributors
pretty
and all
much
this
on my
stuff.
own.
It picked up speed as you went, and I watched cuts. Way before you were even done, as you were editing.
And that's the thing. You do the first film, and you're like, okay, I'm going to do it on my own. I can do this, no problem. But you realize, like, I think the film turned out really well. I'm happy with how I did on it. But I certainly know that working with people who are better at certain things than I am will only lift the whole project higher. And I'm better than them at certain things. They're better than me at certain things. And you come together as a collaboration. Filmmaking is a collaborative art. And I think, we have this news background where we're used to doing everything on our own. The one-man band thing. But making a documentary is a much more complicated process. And when I have some friends who are filmmakers and who have similar interests, it's only sort of natural to say, hey, I got this idea for a film. Do you guys want to be involved? And they come from a more narrative background instead of documentaries. So I'm bringing sort of the newsman side to it, the documentary side to it. They're bringing the we know what to actually do to shoot a really nice shot side of it to it. And it's like, oh, damn, now this thing is really good. So it's really exciting to work with them. I'm learning a lot from them, too, which is really cool.
Like, I'm in the business, and all we think about is, how to make a shot better, how to get a better shot, and what better equipment we can use, and let's use a crane or a slider or a dolly. But I watched your film. It didn't have anything tricky in it. Didn't have anything crazy in it.
No.
And I never thought twice about it. I just plugged in and watched it, and it was unbelievable. And I got to tell you, it was, sometimes we as filmmakers think too much into that.
Absolutely.
And the audience, they're not in the same place. They're just watching and being entertained, and they lose themselves.
As a filmmaker, even if the audience is never going to notice it, if I look at it and go, yeah, that shot came out really well, then I feel good about it as the creator side of it.
Well, and you want to make it better. You want to have better audio next time. You want to make everything. You're always striving to make better.
Yeah. Well, our audio is good. I'm
no,
happy
no,
with
I'm
our
not.
audio.
No, it was. I'm just saying. But you want to make it better. You want to have it like as a Neumann microphone instead of a Sennheiser.
You know what it is also? It's not that, oh, this is a deficiency I want to repair. It's here's some cool ideas visually that I want to try. And when you work with other people, they have ideas you wouldn't have even thought of.
Yeah.
And you go, wow, that's awesome. I would have just done a straight-on shot. They're saying, why don't we get a second camera, put it on a slider, I don't know, whatever it might be.
Right, sure.
And you go, oh, that's awesome. I wouldn't have even thought of that. That looks really cool. So it's things like that having other creative people bringing to the project that makes it just more fun to work on.
Yeah. It's very, very cool. I'm very proud of you. I think you've done a great job.
I'm proud of you too, man.
Thank you.
I'm looking at BeTerrific, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I remember when little Michael Artsis was running around in short pants. He had the little cap. It was a giant lollipop. I remember those days. And then here you are, like, with a whole domain, a whole kingdom.
Thank you.
And it's awesome.
Thank you.
And it's a cool kingdom. BeTerrific. I like that.
There's
so much out there that's cynical, that's dark, that's sort of, oh, I've been there, done that, and whatever. Let's just sort of rag on it. Internet culture can often get kind of cynical, and I like that you guys are doing something that's not that. It gives me some hope for humanity.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Your words mean the world to me, especially because you know me for a long time, and you know the production aspect and what we do and go through.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, I love that companies like Project Triforce believe in us and see the vision and want to be part of it and say, hey,
super cool.
Have a second set here. Let's grow this thing. We want to help you grow it and all this other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're right in the middle of Comic-Con. Your cameras can't turn around, but there are people everywhere, and that's really cool
it's
that
amazing.
They gave you this.
There's a guy with a Steadicam shooting over there. There's 150,000 people a day here.
Cool and jealous. Like, I'm so jealous of Steadicams. I love Steadicams, and they're so hard to use.
I know.
To use right. It's like a whole other art. And I'm so jealous.
Well, this guy, Peter, behind the switcher, Peter Poon, he's amazing. He's an amazing Steadicam operator. If you need one, he's got a Steadicam, and he also knows how to operate the Movi really well. And all that. I mean, there's crowds of people here. It's unbelievable. You got Wonder Woman and Robin over there, and people posing for pictures. Luigi, and you got 150,000 people a day here. The 10th year they've done this.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. Brian, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
I hope everybody goes to plasticgalaxy.com.
PlasticGalaxyMovie.com.
Yes.
In all the years you've interviewed me, you never get that right. It's like this mental block.
It is.
PlasticGalaxyMovie.
PlasticGalaxyMovie.com. I hope everybody goes there. It's totally worth it. And
thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Is there a documentary you really enjoyed, or are you looking forward to? Like, I'm super excited for Back in Time.
Yeah, Back in Time. I got to tell you, that sounds like it's going to be awesome. That's the honestly, that's the one that's jumping out at me right now. That'd be awesome. And there is this Dungeons and Dragons documentary that's in the works. It's tied up in some sort of weird stuff right now, apparently. But if that ever comes out, I've seen a few clips that are on YouTube. That's going to be incredible.
You play Dungeons and Dragons.
I do play Dungeons and Dragons.
I never got into it. Can you just explain, like, because it just, you know what? It seemed too tedious.
Here's the too long didn't read version of this game. Basically, it is a game where there's no board, no anything. You can do anything you want. Imagine a video game where you can go anywhere, do anything, interact with anybody. It's all fair game, like real life. And except not even with a video game. It's all in your imagination. You have a referee called a dungeon master who kind of lays out the story for you. Might say you're in a tavern and you notice a shady-looking guy in the corner, and he's, passing a note. It looks like he's hiding a note and passing it to someone else. What do you do? And you, who might be playing a knight, a fighter, might say, well, that looks pretty suspicious, and I know we've been looking for some guy doing something kind of suspicious, so I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to follow the guy who now has the note. Boom, that's what's happening. That's it. Good. The game begins. And then you roll some dice to see how well it comes out.
Wow.
It doesn't have to be very tedious.
And you can play solitary or with friends?
Well, yeah, you need at least two people. You need a dungeon master and a player.
That sounds a little weird. Dungeon master.
Well,
just saying. G Wiz just told me that he's always been a huge fan of D&D and has always wanted to get into it and learn how to play, but never has had the time.
It is very easy to play. The hardest way to learn how to play is to buy the book and read it. The easiest way to learn how to play is to find a couple of friends who already know, and you can pick it up like instantly.
Wow.
It's really quick.
Very, very cool.
Yep.
Brian, thank you so much.
Thanks for having
Please,
me.
don't be a stranger. Come into our studio. I love having you on. You're a great guest. You're a lot of fun,
brother.
and you're a good dude. You've made some amazing films.
Thank you so much.
You're going to continue to do that, and I really am. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
Have fun the rest of Comic-Con, and come see us again before you leave, and let us know what you thought of Comic-Con. Like, just what you thought, what you saw. We're going to take a quick break. That's Brian Stillman, and don't forget, PlasticGalaxyMovie.com. Did I do it? PlasticGalaxyMovie.com?
PlasticGalaxyMovie.com. Yeah, sorry, I saw a friend off camera.
Yeah, I saw. Oh, sorry.
I see a lot of friends off camera.
Yeah.
Why are we still talking, man?
I don't know. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with a whole lot more right after this. You're the Terrifics. This is the Project Triforce set on the main floor of New York Comic-Con 2015. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this with a whole lot more. And check out Project Triforce in the meantime. ProjectTriforce.com. Don't go anywhere.